You want to know what we're investing in for 2025? Well, this is the episode for you. Welcome to Get Started Investing, a podcast where we unpack all the basics that you need to start or grow your investing journey. My name is Bryce, and as always, I'm joined by my equity buddy, Ren. How are you?
I'm very good, Bryce. Very excited for this episode. I've loved this series from the very basics of finance to what we're buying in 2025. Hopefully, everyone watching and listening has got something out of it, and hopefully it will help you set up 2025 to be your best financial year yet.
So in this episode, we're pulling it all together. We're going to go through what our financial goals are, what we're working on and trying to improve on this year, how we're saving to invest, what we're buying in our core portfolio, and then all the little nice things that we're investing in beyond that. So Ren, let's get stuck in. 2025, you've had some time off over summer to think about it. What are your financial goals?
Yes, goals. So, look, as I said in our saving and budgeting episode, episode 2 of this series, if you haven't watched or listened to that yet, sometimes we get too hung up on goals and we don't talk enough about just like being intentional. And I think for me, I don't have any particular like medium-term or long-term goals that I'm working towards. I guess I've got like general aspirations, financial freedom, choice, stuff like that, paying off a mortgage.
Yeah.
But I guess the goal for me this year is to improve my savings rate and then invest that difference and invest it well. So my savings rate for 2024, I was having a look at PocketSmith. It was about 18%. So 18% of my after-tax salary, I was either saving, investing, or adding to my offset above my mortgage.
Yep.
I want to get that to 25% is the goal, but I want to stretch and try and get it to 30%.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Solid.
I guess I started by saying I don't have a goal. I do have a goal.
Yeah.
That's the goal. What about you?
Yeah, look, I'm similar. This year for me is about trying to optimize like that additional 20%. So, we have a mortgage now, and I think I've learned over the last 12 months that there are ways in which you can leverage that.
Yep.
So trying to reduce the non-deductible debt that we have. This year we'll probably actually try and get some professional advice.
So you're going to do debt recycling?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it might be debt recycling. It might. I don't know.
And for people unfamiliar, this is where you pay off your mortgage and then you pull that money out as a new loan, but it's an investment loan because investment loans in Australia are tax deductible, but residential mortgages for owner occupiers are not tax deductible.
Correct.
You're playing the system before the system plays you.
Yes. Well, look, yeah. So we're going to probably get some professional advice and see where that pans out. And but yeah, for us, it's like we're in a good position with our core stuff. How do we then take the opportunity that's in front of us to try and accelerate that wealth building?
Yeah. Which
I think you said in the first episode, like we're in a stage of our life now where we don't have those commitments around children and various bits and pieces. So how can we make the most of that?
Nice. Love that. So I guess they're the goals, but we're also just constantly working to learn more, upskill. Like investing is a lifelong journey of learning.
Yeah.
And so what are you working on improving? What are you trying to learn this year?
The biggest thing for me, and I was speaking about this in the second half of last year, but I need to pay some attention to my superannuation portfolio. We manage our superannuation.
Yep.
And I really need to. It's a bit of a mess at the moment, I would say. So I need to really get in there and do a deep dive, and that's what I'm trying to do. And the learning around that is all about portfolio construction. Nice. And how I can, I guess, maximize it appropriately.
Yeah, nice.
What about yourself?
So I have a super related goal as well. I'm pretty happy with how my super is. I'm just brushing up against the limits of what's available on the platform that I'm on. And I have emailed the CEO of the platform a few times to ask if we can get some things added. And so if we can't, one thing I am going to explore is there a platform that's more suitable for my needs?
Yep.
So that's one thing that I'm working on. You're just speaking about super triggered
Well, I
that in
mean,
me.
for that as well, like to make it financially viable, it could mean creating an SMSF with you and Alice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you and me.
No,
I was like, oh,
we could do it. We could do it.
okay.
I think you can do that with like.
With mates, yeah. you
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
can.
yeah. Well, if you want to go in on an SMSF in 2025,
Okay, that would be a nice little wrinkle. I wonder
Stop.
what, but we don't include Harriet and Alice.
no.
But look, what I am working on learning and improving, and where I really want to upskill is, the last couple of years. So the start of Equity Mates and Get Started Investing, we were very focused on individual stocks, and then we went on this learning journey, and we learned a lot more about the power of index investing and why it works, and to the point where we literally wrote the book on index investing. Don't Stress, Just Invest. Sold wherever you buy books. Winner of the 2024 Business Book of the Year for personal finance and investing. But I feel like my core is in a really good place. And so now I want to really, reorientate that focus to satellite investments.
Yeah.
Picking stocks, writing themes, trying to beat the market.
Yeah.
And so, super is something that's on my mind, and maximizing the return in my satellite portfolio as well.
Now, if you want to follow our journey as we talk a little bit more about individual stocks and how we can try and beat the market, head across to Equity Mates Investing Podcast, where we do that multiple times a week.
Yes. Well, for me, like, that's the thing. Like, we do so much investing content.
Yeah.
We speak to so many experts. We come across so many stocks. And there's only so much money in the world. There's
That's
only
the challenge,
only so much time
Yeah.
and attention and focus. And so for me, it's just like drawing that focus back to some exciting individual stocks.
Yeah.
I'm
The
gonna,
capital
I'm gonna-
allocation.
I'm gonna ride this bull market like we should have ridden 2021. I mean, we rode it pretty well.
Yes. Yeah. You can't, yeah. Now, what about savings? You mentioned that you're going to try and bump it up to closer to the 30% mark.
Yeah.
We spoke a couple of episodes about the hows, but just a reminder, what do you think is going to be the big leverage or the big unlock for that?
No wedding.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. So, Alice and I were transferring a little bit every pay into the wedding account, but then, you get to the few months before the wedding and there's just costs.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
there's the, it was
Expensive.
Yeah. And so that's a big win. Just baselining everything, resetting. And then just like cost management, like it's boring, it's unsexy, but it's just like, I think for me, like the way I manage my money is that pay yourself first, and it's I automatically transfer stuff to savings, offset, and brokerage, and then what's left I kind of have always just treated as the money I have to spend, and sometimes the last few months of 2024 I would overspend and then transfer back from the high interest savings account. But I think for me, the improvement I can make and how I can free up more money to save, to invest, is still run the pay yourself first thing. But then with the spending money I have, is then really challenge myself to have a certain amount left over at the end of the fortnight. So rather than just saying I can run that down to zero and then replenish it every pay, say, all right, well, what do I have to do to have $150 left in that account each fortnight?
Yeah.
And then that 150 becomes extra that I can
put in.
invest.
Yeah. Love that. Nice.
What about you?
To be honest, not a lot of change for me on the savings side this year.
Okay.
Unless advised otherwise. As I said, we're going to try and get some professional advice. But,
honestly, a financial advisor is going to look at the fact that you're saving. What's your savings rate? Like 33, 35%?
about 35, yeah.
He's going to be like, I've got nothing to do here.
Well, no, that's the beauty.
Do you reckon they'll be
I'm
intimidated?
hoping. I'm not going to a financial advisor to be told how to save.
It would honestly be amazing if you came back and they were like, yeah, they can double my savings rate.
Oh, impossible. The point is to take that and how can we put that to work more?
Yeah,
'cause
and
I'm sure what we're doing can be done better.
And I think for people listening, when you say put it to work more, you're not expecting them to have some like wild investment strategy.
No.
Because like that's not really where financial advisors add their value these days.
Yeah.
Unless till you get to speak to like a Charlie Viola who can put you in like crazy investment opportunities.
Yeah.
But like the advisors that we would speak to, it's all about like setup and tax planning and the right structures and vehicles and
should we be investing together, for Harriet and I, for example, like are we doing the right thing with our superannuations?
Yeah.
We have the mortgage. Is there a way that we can leverage the debt on that somehow?
Yeah.
We've got the offset account. Like there's exactly what you said. It's not invest in ETFs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to speak to an advisor, we have a hand-picked group that we work with and we can introduce you to. Go to equitymates.com/advice and we'll put you in touch. What is our actual investing plan?
Yeah.
How are we going to take that money we freed up and make it work for us?
Yes.
We're going to sweat it as hard as we sweat in our pretty cruisy 9-to-5 job.
Yeah. All right. Well, talk us through yours. Let's start with the core.
Yeah. So as I said before the break, I feel like my core portfolio is in a good position. I feel like we've done a lot of work. We've produced a lot of content. We've spoken to a lot of experts and we literally wrote a book on everything we've learnt. Don't stress, just invest, sold wherever you buy books. So my core portfolio is not going to change from last year. So
which it shouldn't.
It should.
We should add.
Well, yeah. So 4 market cap weighted ETFs, all equally weighted. So I'm going to put the same amount in each time I get paid.
Yeah.
And it covers the world. And the reason that I do this rather than just one ETF is I like being able to have them equal rather than, being massively overweight the US or something like that.
Yeah.
So the 4 ETFs are IOZ for my Australian exposure, the ASX 200, IVV for the US, that's the S&P 500.
2 iShares.
2 iShares, yes. VAE, which is Vanguard Asia X Japan for my Asian exposure.
Yep.
I don't have anything against Japan. I actually
You didn't personally exit.
No, I'm actually not 100% sure if there is just a general Asia inclusive of Japan ETF.
There was a question about this in our Facebook discussion group.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah. So that would actually be something I would change. Just a general Asia market cap weighted full continent. And then finally, VEQ, which is the Vanguard Europe ETF. I changed into this one last year because it includes the UK.
Yes.
Separately, I had a separate UK ETF.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 ETFs, dollar cost average every fortnight, bang, bang, bang. 26 times a year, I'll get paid, I'll invest in them, and I hopefully won't check my brokerage account too much.
Nice.
What about you?
Very similar strategy, automated strategy. I'm doing monthly at the moment because of the brokerage, but that works well for me. In terms of the breakdown of my portfolio, so my US exposure is through a geared beta shares S&P 500. Well, it's not technically S&P 500, but it's the top 500. It's called GJUS or GGUS. I then have another geared GEAR, which is leveraged exposure to the ASX 200. And then same as you, Ren, for Asia and Europe, Vanguard Asia X Japan and Vanguard Europe.
So that's what you're investing in. The question is how much are you going to invest? Don't have to give us dollar figures unless you want to, but what's as a percentage of your take home pay, how much of it is going to go into your core?
25% gets transferred to my brokerage.
Yep.
And then of that, 80% goes into core.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So about 20% of your overall take home.
Yeah. And so then I sit the remainder in there for the satellite. For the MinRes when it comes up.
To be opportunistic.
Yeah. But so that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my plan, what I'm trying to do this year would work out to be about 17% of my take home pay goes into my core.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then another 5-ish%, bit over 5% goes into satellite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a bit more active on the satellite side than me. What are you doing beyond the core at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay, so that's above the 17%?
Yeah. So that's a separate 2 and a bit percent.
Nice.
And so together, those three things, so core, satellite, and crypto together, I want to try and get to 25%
Yep.
of my after-tax salary. That's the goal.
Yep.
So like I obviously didn't get there last year, but I want to try and get there this year. And so yeah, dollar cost averaging into crypto, see how that goes, and then try and be opportunistic with stocks that I'm picking.
Nice.
Now, in the 4th episode of this series, I said I forgot to mention one thematic ETF that I probably will put a little bit more money into this year. And that is the very first ETF I bought.
Oh, yeah.
That just continues to do the damn thing. That's the BetaShares Cybersecurity ETF hack.
Nice.
So I teased that last episode. So there we go.
Nice one.
All right. So what about you? What else are you investing in? How are you thinking about your satellite?
So I've got exposure to a small cap managed fund, Fairlight.
Yep.
I want to keep building exposure to that. I'm getting teased every time we talk about private equity on the show.
Yes.
I want exposure to it, but damn, the minimums are high.
Yeah,
I need to get about 20 grand.
Yeah,
So
and like that's not getting you in the best opportunity.
That's the thing.
That's the
That's
thing
like
that I
the-
always get stuck on. It's
the
like
minimum opportunity.
it's like private equity has a real distribution of returns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you really need like 50 grand, and the amount that
More,
I'm
like,
putting into.
If you want to go into like Blackstone's best funds, you probably like
Well,
million
you also
dollar
need
plus.
to be like wholesale or
yeah.
sophisticated. For those that are available for retail. And as I was saying before, like the amount that I'm putting into the brokerage account that sits in the bucket that this would happen, it'll take me years to save
Yeah.
20 or 50 grand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of just like I'm waiting for more products to come to market.
If you get that excited about private equity, you can invest in the managers.
Yeah, but I want to go the smaller end of town.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are probably the two things, and then I'll keep an eye on some individual stocks, and I'm sure we'll do more content on that this year on Equity Mates, but I'm just conscious of getting a bit of money in there. What I'm conscious of, though, as well, is not spreading too thin across all of this.
Yeah.
So when it comes to buying individual stocks, I'm now trying to avoid 500 here, 500 there. It's like, do I have conviction on it? I get in on it. If I don't, I'm not gonna swing at everything.
Yeah, nice. Well, look, that's our financial plan. Obviously, it's aspirational at the start of the year. The challenge is now for us to keep to our plan, to try and hit our saving and investing goals, to stay disciplined and stay motivated. And if you're thinking about how you can stay disciplined and stay motivated, make sure you're subscribed to Get Started Investing wherever you're watching or listening, because we're going to be here multiple times a week, sharing our journey, bringing you along, and bringing the whole Get Started Investing community along on the journey as we all try and make 2025 our most successful financial year yet.
Love it. Well, that is the end. Thank you to our producer, Sophie, who has pulled together the handbook that accompanies all these episodes. A link will be in the show notes for you to download that, share it with your friends as well, and encourage them to get started on their investing journey. Join us on the Facebook discussion group as well, because there is plenty happening over there. And if you loved this, please rate and review it through your podcast app or like it on YouTube. We love hearing from you. But here's to 2025, Ren. Cannot wait to get stuck in, and this will be our best year yet.
Love it.
Guaranteed.
Love it.